All right, folks, we're back for the last of the orientation videos. I do want to make one clarification. I noted that in the last video that most everything's due on Saturdays and Sundays, and that is generally true. Although the essay exams, there's 4 of them, I made those due on Wednesdays, and the analysis paper also made it due on a Wednesday. And then the only other exception is a plagiarism quiz, which is due on a Friday. So do make note of those couple of exceptions. So your grade for the class is made up of 1 plagiarism quiz. It's 5 questions, multiple choice. This is the one quiz that you can take as many times as you want till you get a perfect score. It's pretty simple. Then there's the chapter quizzes. Those are 1 a week, typically. A total of 15 questions. There's a 40-minute time limit. And typically you get just 1 attempt. As I mentioned, the exception will be the very first one, which I'll give you 2. And then there are the essay exams. Those are open book, open note. You are required to cite the book or lecture in each answer. They're 40 points each, no time limit, due on Wednesdays. And they go over the unit we're studying. I don't have any comprehensive exam for the course. It's 1 unit, 1 exam, 1 unit, 1 exam, 1 unit, 1 exam, and then the 4th unit and the 4th exam. Then you have required discussion board points and an analysis paper for a total of 650. I will offer at least 25 points worth of extra credit throughout the semester as well. Typical grade scale, 90 to 100. I do round up, so if you have like an 89.5 at the end, I automatically round you up to a 90. So I already mentioned the chapter quizzes will go over either what's in the textbook or the lecture, 15 questions, not too difficult. Essay exams, they'll be short and long essays. You can look at them as many times as you want. You can take as long as you want. Well, you got to meet the due date, but you'll get it at least a week in advance and you can work on it, at your leisure. The short essay answers are the terms. I usually give you multiple options. And you have to describe or define the term and then discuss its significance to American history. And then the essay portion are just as a long essay. I give you multiple questions. You can choose in answer which one you feel most comfortable with. And you're looking for 3 to 5 paragraphs, a genuine long essay answer. And you must incorporate and use and cite course material, textbook and or lecture. Okay. The online discussion board points. So each discussion board is open for 2 weeks. In the first week, you answer the questions that are assigned to you. I typically assign them to groups, but there's not a group project. It's not a group project. The reason why I assign them to groups per se is really I'm just taking a list of, say, 6 questions and divvying it up. And having a third of the class work on 2 of them, a third of the class work on the other 2, and a third of the class work on question 5 and 6, right? But you're working on them as individuals. You're not working on them as a group. Okay, so the first week, you're posting your individual answers. And then in the second week, you're completing your 2 replies. And I leave it open for 2 weeks because if I didn't do, I always have to give students enough time to get the replies done. So I can't make all the posts and the replies due the same day because it would be really tough to get your replies done in the same day, like if everybody waits till 11 o'clock to do their post. Another option is to make posts due on Saturday and replies due on Sunday. But what if you got something planned for Sunday? It's just kind of a pain. I've done other options where posts were due on Wednesday and replies on Sunday. But gosh darn, making things due in the middle of the week is kind of tough for some of my students. So I've just really centered on this whole 2 weeks just works easier. So the first week, get your posts done. The second week, get your replies done. But that does mean that our homework overlaps. So in week 2, you'll be working on week 2 posts and week 1 replies. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then all of the new weeks open on a Monday, except for if there's a holiday. We do have one Monday holiday and then things can open up on a Tuesday. All right, so points for the discussion boards. You get 9 points for answering the questions. You are required, I'm going to say it again, you are required, I'm going to say it one more time, you are required to cite the book and or lecture. If you don't cite the course material, I'm going to send you back a note that says redo it, add citations. I'm not grading it till they're in there. Must cite the book and or lecture material in your answers and provide examples of relevant examples from the book and lecture material as well in answering the questions. Then you need to do 2 replies. Those replies are not peer reviews. You're not commenting on the quality of your fellow students' post. You are discussing the course material for the week. That's what you're doing. So you're dialoguing about what it is you're learning, maybe adding additional information, pulling in additional sources, anything and everything, maybe talking about your opinion on, maybe say xenophobia in America. So that's fine as well. But you got to do 2 replies and they must add to the discussion of the course content, right? So there's a 225 points possible in the weekly discussions. You only need 195. So that's 30 flex points. So if each discussion is worth 15 points and you got 30 flex points, that means you can skip 2 discussions. 15 equals 30, right? You can skip 2 discussions of your choosing. Again, you don't need to get my prior authorization. Skip them. What happens is when I get to grading them, I mark them as excused in the gradebook. And that means they don't count towards your final score. Now, what if you do them all, right? If you do them all, this is one of the ways you can get the 25 extra credit points is by simply doing all the discussions. Then what I do is the last 2 discussions I mark as excused and I roll those points over to the extra credit column. So that's an option as well. All right, I did put some handy dandy little notes about what your discussion post should do, what your apply post should do, and then what they should not do as well. So read through those because in the introduction post, I'm going to ask you to give me some examples of what's required in the discussion board answers. And as always, remember, don't use AI. Do your own work and you will be fine. Okay, so that's all I have for the orientation videos. But if you have additional questions about the course, if anything is unclear at all, call me, text me, Canvas message me, right? These are all ways that you can get into contact with me. I will note the only place that I don't really check all that much is the Pronto message. So in Canvas, there's a Pronto option where students can chat between each other, and also some faculty like to use it too. I already provide you with my a cell phone way to contact me and text me, so I don't tend to use Pronto. So just be aware of that. If you're wanting to ask me a question, use my cell phone number, text me, or send me a Canvas message, because Pronto is not something I really check very often. And then also make sure you're paying attention and looking out for my messaging through Canvas message. So the weekly announcements go out as announcements, which go to your college email account, which you should be regularly checking. If you're not regularly checking that, I do recommend that you go into your settings in Canvas and set your notifications so that the emails that are sent to you are forwarded to another email address, that you do check. So you can actually go in there and set announcements to go to a personal email. But I also send them out as Canvas messages as well. So they go out as announcements and Canvas messages. So please make sure you're checking either your college email or your Canvas messaging system. And then also don't forget that I do provide feedback, grades, comments, may ask you to revise or redo something in the gradebook, in my comments in the gradebook as well. So it's always good to pop in there as well. And then the one thing I will say about the Canvas gradebook messaging, you can also send me back a comment. Problem with that is that it pops up for a split second as a notification on my cell phone. But if I don't immediately check it, it goes away. And so if you've got an additional question, like to a comment or something I posted in the gradebook, sometimes it's better just to Canvas message me, because I don't always see those. And remember, I also have 8 classes this semester. So trying to go back through all the gradebook comments to see if you guys replied to anything is it's not a very realistic thing. So again, it's just easier just to Canvas message me back if you have an additional question. But I do put comments in the gradebook. You might want to take a look at those if you have any questions on maybe why you missed a point. All right, that's all I have for you in the orientation videos. Next up is to do the introduction post. That one, you just have to do it and answer the questions. There's no minimum word requirement, so don't worry about the whole 500 minimum words. You don't have to do a reply to anybody. So just do answer the questions. It's really just to make sure you're in the class and you're participating, and then you can move on to the first chapter 24 module, and the chapter 24 reading, the chapter 24 lectures on reconstruction, in the first chapter quiz and chapter discussion. Okay, folks. Don't be shy. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Again, my cell phone number is on the homepage. It's on the syllabus. Ask away. All right.